this is what the federal takeover of a city looks like. This was MacArthur Park today in Los Angeles. These undisclosed vehicles surrounded MacArthur Park. It was unclear if this was ICE, the National Guard. And the thing is, people were spreading the word about this raid since yesterday, which leaves the question, was the purpose to scare individuals or to actually detain people? It looks to me like a big portion of this was to scare the public.
This is so dystopian. This is the road that bisects MacArthur Park. These are Stryker military vehicles pulling up. There are countless numbers of DHS, CBP, National Guard. I cannot believe I'm seeing this. This is a neighborhood park in Los Angeles. This is so dystopian. Look at these guys on these armored horses. This looks like nothing I've ever seen. They're literally just sweeping the park for no reason.
They're on horses. They are all masked up like they're going to fucking war. And they're just sweeping this park. Just sweeping it. Just making their presence known. There's men with fucking automatic rifles just in armored vehicles at a park. If you voted for Trump and you're going to say, oh, this is exactly what I voted for, you're fucking weird. Like, you're fucking weird, okay? Like, I could call you a lot of things, but, like, this just sums it up.
I watched a video a little later to see the troops along with mounted patrols marching through in formation at MacArthur Park, where the children that were there for their summer day camp had to leave and go into a building. So they had to hide the children because they didn't want the children to see that the park was being taken over by ICE. It was an egregious show of force. I have no idea what their purpose was. I don't even think they detained anybody. At this point in time, I think they just want to sow terror and fear around our city. And every now and then, the military, the Custom and Border Patrol, or some other federal office shows up. Los Angeles was peaceful before June 5th. We need to go back to that. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about the Democrats out in LA, okay? Because the Trump administration is making a complete and total clown show out of these people, okay? They look weak and helpless. And that's essentially what this story is about. Because Karen Bass is lashing out. She's begging for mercy after ICE decided to invade MacArthur Park in LA. Now, I was told by law enforcement that I know, okay, in this area in LA, that MacArthur Park is a place where illegal immigrants commit crimes, right? It's not necessarily a safe place, okay? You can get fake IDs, fake socials, homeless camps. They also apparently have what they call a white glove policy that allows vendors to sell bootleg movies so that they can pay taxes imposed by the local gang and cartel, right? And Democrats are totally fine with this, right? They're totally fine with accommodating illegals and cartel activity in this park, right? And I think that's probably why the federal government decided to raid this park in the middle of the day. And now you have Democrats boohoo-whining and crying. They're freaking out over this, crying foul, right? Because I'm guessing that ICE and the federal government, they're sending a message to Democrats, to the illegals, to the gangs in this area. So I want to react to this because they're losing their minds over what they're calling a show of force. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
MacArthur Park becomes the latest scene of a massive presence of immigration enforcement agents, heavily armed federal agents on horseback in military vehicles descending onto that park.
This time things ended differently than we've seen in the past. Fox 11's Laura Diaz live in downtown LA with more. What happened out there today? Laura.
Yes, the big question tonight is what was the purpose of the show of force? We can tell you that there were not that many people present in the park when that raid took place. And unlike other raids, advance word leaked out. Fox 11 was on the ground and up in the air.
This is an overreach of your authority.
By 11:10,
There was tanks and all this. They got tanks all through here. They got the white vans. They got the trucks. They got all this out.
About 10:30 Monday morning, heavily armored Border Patrol officers with a fleet of vehicles and some on horseback descended on MacArthur Park. This is the heart of the immigrant community, just 2 miles from downtown LA. Sky Fox was overhead as the operation kicked in. Our Fox 11 photographer Sam Dubin on the ground recording the dramatic scene. Immigration agents in military green carrying rifles. Neighbors and community activists rushed to the park, challenging those in the action. Children were scurried from the urban park.
The military pointed their guns at us and they were screaming at us, cursing to get the out of there.
Among those arriving on the scene was LA Mayor Karen Bass, flanked by security and in a crush of people pushing for the operation to end. Our camera caught her on the phone, pleading with officials to stop.
Getting ready to leave? Okay, please, can you leave ASAP?
My comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Soon,
Please, can they leave? ICE, can you leave? You're making us look so weak, right? She look weak as hell. She look weak as hell right now. Honestly, I love what the Trump administration is doing to these Democrats. He is really exposing them and their feckless leadership. I mean, come on. Really? Really, Karen Bass? Right? You on the phone begging them to leave. Can you please leave? You have no power. You have no power at all. You're powerless. And that's why I really don't understand why is it that she is continuing to fight against these federal agents enforcing the law. If they actually worked with the federal government, maybe stuff like this wouldn't be so prevalent, right? Maybe they wouldn't be doing this if she actually cooperated with them. But see, Democrats haven't figured that out yet. They believe they're supposed to just keep trying to oppose this, but they don't understand that they're powerless, right? You're not going to obstruct the federal government and get away with it. It's just not going to happen. So the harder that she pushes back, the more that this is going to happen, right? And the more embarrassing that this is going to become for Democrats, because again, this makes them look really weak.
after the operation ended, reportedly with not one undocumented person taken into custody. A couple of hours later, a news conference was called at LA City Hall with the mayor surrounded by community activists and city council members denouncing the raid. Fox News spoke exclusively with Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino, who had tough words for Bass.
The federal government is not leaving LA. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
He's calling for you to get used to it. What is your response?
I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to get used to it because last I checked, I was elected to be mayor of the city. That did not include a federal takeover. So either you believe in democracy or you don't.
Either you believe in enforcing federal law or you don't. Clearly, Democrats don't. So again, it can go both ways, right? The federal government being there has nothing to do with your so-called democracy. It has everything to do with the fact that you're not cooperating, you're trying to obstruct, and these are the consequences. So you just got to deal with it, right? You do have to deal with it. You're going to have to get used to it.
Homeland Security would not confirm or deny if they arrested anyone today. What I can tell you with certainty is that Fox 11 was over the scene in MacArthur Park for an entire hour. During that time, we did not witness anyone get arrested. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from downtown, sending it back to the studio.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Okay, so the press conference after this raid, the woke activists speaking out, yeah, they're really upset by this, right? They don't like that this happened, that ICE issued a raid on this park, which again, some people are calling a show of force against the illegals and the Democrats.
onto MacArthur Park, bringing troops, military weapons and equipment, and armored vehicles to a community park, a community hub, a place where families gather. This happened while summer camp was in session at the park, and instead of playing games with their friends, young children were subjected to having to be ushered into the lower part of one of our buildings as terror was taking place in our community. As they were in a space where United States soldiers were there with weapons here against Americans in the city of LA. MacArthur Park is the Ellis Island of the West Coast. It was chosen as this administration's latest target precisely because of who lives there and what it represents: resilience, diversity, and the American dream. It is no coincidence that the president would target a place that so clearly embodies the values he has spent his time in office trying to destroy. When we invade and surveil our own neighborhoods, when we scapegoat and demonize immigrants, when we disregard due process, we are no longer living under the rule of democracy. We are living under occupation and authoritarianism. The actions from the federal government over the last month do not represent the values of our city or of our country. Sending United States soldiers to intimidate children at camp and señoras at the bus stop is not making anyone safer. Raiding Home Depots is not stopping crime. Tearing families away from their children isn't upholding family values. And let me be clear, the cruelty and the chaos that we see is the point. But Los Angeles will continue to support our families, will continue to resist, we will continue to have each other's back, and we will continue to demand the immediate withdrawal of federal troops and ICE in our city.
What a disgrace what's happening in MacArthur Park. What theater. On the 6-month anniversary, after all, of these fires. That's the message from the polluted heart of the President of the United States, the polluted heart of Stephen Miller. Those National Guard men and women that were out there protecting people are now being used as political pawns, out there on horsebacks running through soccer fields in the middle of the day, timed around announcements and events like this. It says everything you and I need to know about the state of mind of the President of the United States in this.
Yeah, so I love how Democrats are framing this raid of MacArthur Park as an attack on kids, right? It's an attack on children. They shut down the kids' summer camp. And it's like, MacArthur Park is basically a shithole. I mean, let's be real. It is a crime-ridden neighborhood full of gang activity and illegal immigrants. That's what it is.
Concerns of Norm Langer, owner of the iconic Langer's Deli. Langer says he will close this restaurant if city leaders don't ramp up efforts to address issues like homelessness and crime. KCAL News political reporter Tom Waite has his growing concerns.
Langer's Deli is one of the most popular restaurants in Los Angeles. It is also one of the most historic spots here in the city. It's also right across the street from MacArthur Park, which is part of the epicenter of many of the crises facing LA. It's one of LA's iconic landmarks, but MacArthur Park has also become a symbol of LA's struggles. Homelessness, drug addiction, people in mental health crisis. It's all on display here, and for the owner of one of the city's most storied restaurants, it's all coming to a head.
We've been an institution for 77 years.
Norm Langer is the owner of Langer's Deli across from MacArthur Park, a business that his father opened in 1946. Langer says he'll shut the deli down in a week if he doesn't see some action from the city to address crime, homelessness, and illegal street vending.
What are you hearing from your clientele?
They're getting tired of walking through it. They know that they're safe walking on 7th Street from my parking lot, but they don't want to ride the red line. They don't feel safe in walking that half a block.
LA has spent years rehabbing MacArthur Park. 3 years ago, the city shut down half of the park to make improvements. Outreach workers placed people living in the park in housing, but some of them complained to us the accommodations weren't livable. The park continues to be a place where people live. Open drug use is rampant.
I would just like to see the city follow through with cleaning up the area. The problem is, if you don't have enforcement, you're wasting your time.
The mayor's office says they are in direct contact with Langer and are constantly working to address the issues that he's concerned about. Councilwoman Eunice Hernandez's office says she and her team are working with multiple agencies to break the cycle of neglect here and to get people mental health services and housing.
Pretending as if this is some safe place for kids and children to be, and that, you know, ICE just, you know, interrupted some sanctuary for children is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But this is par for the course when it comes to the propaganda from these people, because they have no choice at this point but to lie, right, and to mislead. The reality is this: Los Angeles is a shithole run by Democrats. Democrats are not cooperating with cleaning up the shithole. So therefore, the federal government is going to do what they got to do to clean it up. That's it, right? That's just what it is. And again, I don't know why Democrats don't want to work with the federal government. I mean, they should be doing what Ron DeSantis is doing, right? Getting that free help, okay? Getting some of them free resources. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. To me, it just blows my mind how Democrats are just completely and totally dropping the ball on this. But, you know, hey, they believe that this is a political winner for them and that this is a political loser for Trump, right? They believe that, well, Trump is doing more than deporting the criminals. He's deporting families, right? Except he's doing what the American people agree with, right? The majority of the American people want all the illegals deported, right? When you ask them, hey, should all the illegals be deported? They say, yeah, right? More than 50%, a majority. So, again, I don't think that this is going to end up well for Democrats. I think that they're essentially putting themselves in a corner where they can't pivot on illegal immigration, right? Nobody's going to ever trust the Democrats with the border anymore because they've shown that they essentially support the extremes of illegal immigration. And they didn't have to do this, right? They did not have to put themselves in this position, but they did. And again, in the midterms and in 2028, I just don't see how they can pivot back towards the middle because they went just off the progressive edge when it comes to defending mass illegal immigration to this country. And they're just falling to every single trap that the Trump administration set. So as long as they could not cooperate with the federal government, this is going to happen. And maybe they'll figure out that cooperating is better than not cooperating. But until then, this is what they got to deal with. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.